So today's topic is going to be threaded binary trees. Okay. So in unit 2 we had studied what is a binary tree. Then we had studied a special type of binary tree called as a binary search tree. Today we are going to study another type of binary tree known as a threaded binary tree. So basically from the properties of a binary tree we know that a binary tree with n nodes has 2 n pointers, out of which n plus 1 are always null. Okay, this is one of the properties of your binary trees. You can verify for yourselves that it is true. So when we were learning the traversals of a binary tree, we had studied the different traversal methods like in order, pre-order and post-order traversals. Now all these traversals, if you remember, were implemented using recursion. Okay, and whenever we use recursion, we require a stack to implement recursion. Basically, whenever there is these traversals that we were doing, we involved the use of two concepts, that was recursion and stacks. Now this is very computationally expensive for the computer. Okay, it takes a lot of processing resources of the computer. So someone came up with a better idea to do the traversals, specifically the in order traversal. Okay, so in order to stop using the stack and using recursion, in order to stop these two methods, they came up with this concept of threaded binary trees. So basically, threaded binary trees, if someone asks you what is the main use of it, it is mainly to stop the recursive traversals that involve the use of stacks. So mostly we were making this in order traversal more efficient. So what they decided was, like I discussed with you, each node in a tree will have three parts. So each node was represented using three parts. This was the data part, a pointer to the left child and a pointer to the right child. Okay, this is what the structure of a node in a tree looks like. So if this was a leaf node, then there would be some value here, and this would have been null, and this would have been null. Suppose this was the leaf node. Suppose I was having a tree like this. Just say we had discussed this. So basically what we would have had, this would have been actually stored in your linked list like this, where you would have had 4 stored here as the root node, and you would have had the left child and the right child. Okay, I'm not drawing the entire tree. So basically I'm representing this leaf node here. In the leaf node, since it's a leaf node, the left child pointer would have been null and the right child pointer would have been null. Okay, so basically we are occupying memory storage here and here, but we don't store anything. Okay, there's nothing useful that is stored there. So instead of just storing null there, okay, if we could store some useful information for the traversal, then our traversal could have become more efficient. So that is where they came up with this concept of a threaded binary tree. So what they decided was, wherever these null pointers are stored, instead of storing just null there, we'll store some data there that will make our traversal more efficient. Okay, so that is where this concept of threaded binary tree comes into place. I hope you all are noting it down. So basically what they decided was, a left null pointer can store the address of the in order predecessor of a node. A right null pointer can store address of in order successor of node. Okay, and these pointers will be called as threads. and the tree that implements threads will be called as a threaded binary tree. So I'll show you on the next slide what we mean by all of this. Okay, just remember this. What you need to remember from this slide is, at a left null pointer, you are having a node like this. Okay, so there is some data here and we are having null. So this we are referring to the left null pointer, this one. So it will store the address of the in order predecessor. Whoever is the in order predecessor of this node, it will store the address of that in order predecessor. And a right null pointer, that is this portion, will store address of in order successor of this node. Okay, these pointers, once they store the address, these addresses, in order predecessor or in order successor, those pointers will be called as threads. And binary tree which has threads is called as a threaded binary tree. Okay, just try to remember, left null means in order predecessor, right null pointer means in order successor. Okay, so this is an example of your binary tree. So we are having a binary tree here. Okay, so it's not represented using these circles or the ovals. Okay, in circular shape, then it would have been like this. A would be the root node, then you would have had B as the left child, C as the right child, then B has D as the left child, E as the right child, E will have F as the left child, and G as the right child. So this is how we normally represent our tree. Okay, but in linked list representation, it is represented like this. We have learned this already. Okay, so now if you want to, like I told you before, here the null pointers, the leaf nodes are having null pointers. Okay, or if any node is not having any one of the child, then also it has a null pointer. So all these null pointers will be replaced by the in order predecessor or in order successor. So when these null pointers are replaced, then that tree will be known as a threaded binary tree. Okay, then we are having two different, or you can say three different types of threaded binary trees. If only the right null pointers are replaced, only the right ones, okay, only the right ones, then we call it as a right in threaded binary tree. Okay, if we replace only the left null pointers, then we call it as a left in threaded binary tree. If we replace the left and the right pointers, the null pointers, then we call it as a fully in threaded binary tree. Okay, you can just read here, that is what is explained here. You can just read this part. Don't worry about the other things, just understand what I'm telling you right now, then I'll explain you everything. Okay, I'll come to your doubts at the end of the lecture. So I will continue with my presentation, and any doubts you have, you can always type in the chat. I will come back to your doubts at the end of the lecture. So basically, you will be given for your exams, you will be given a tree like this. Okay, or you may be given a tree in like this type form, like this, in the normal way we represent using our circles or the ovals. So if you are given a tree in this form, then you have to convert it to this form, to a linked list representation. Okay, please remember, if you are given a tree directly in this form, you can directly start converting it to a threaded binary tree. If you are given a tree in this form, then you first convert it to a linked list representation. Okay, so we have already seen this in our previous unit, how to represent a tree using linked list representation. Convert it to linked list representation. Once you convert it to a linked list representation, this linked list representation is without threads. Okay, so then you can convert it depending on looking at the question, whether you have to make a right in-threaded tree, a left in-threaded tree, or a fully in-threaded binary tree. Okay, so in the next slide I'll show you how to convert from this form, that is a binary tree without threads, to this form. Okay, the other two forms are variations of this fully in-threaded. Okay, it's simple. So here, when you're given this tree, you're given this binary tree, first you have to do the in-order traversal. So you need to find out the in-order traversal. So once you do the in-order traversal, you will get some sequence of nodes. So suppose this is the sequence of nodes that you have got. Okay. So once you have got the sequence of nodes, again, going back to something that we had discussed before, you have to know what is the meaning of a predecessor and what is the successor. So when we were doing the binary search trees, I remember I told you what is the in-order successor, what is in-order predecessor. So just for revision, I will tell you here. Once you find out the in-order traversal, okay, if you want a predecessor of node B, then the value that comes before B is D. So predecessor of B is D. Okay, whichever value comes before B. Similarly, predecessor of C is A. So predecessor of C is A. So D is not having a predecessor. Okay, because it's the first node, there's nothing in front of it. So this node here will not have a predecessor. Okay, and successor means whatever value comes after that node. So suppose I want the successor of B. Suppose I want the successor of B, then successor of B will be F. Whatever value comes after that will be the successor. If I want successor of G is A. So successor of G will be A, and so on. Okay. So just you have to find out the in-order traversal. The value preceding a node will be the predecessor, and the value after that node will be the successor of that node. Okay. Now this is very important because we have stated here that left null pointer will store in order predecessor and right null pointer will store in order successor. So to remember this. Okay. So now, once you start drawing a fully in-threaded binary tree, this tree you have to draw just as it is given. Okay, so all these arrows here, these mean that B is a left child of A. So these solid arrows that are there here, solid arrows, these are arrows, or in other words pointers to the children of that node. It could be pointing to the left child or a right child. So if you see a solid pointer, that means that is a child of that node. Okay, so you can see here, this is the right child of B, this is the left child of B. Okay, so your first step in converting a linked list representation of a binary tree to a threaded tree is to draw this as it is. Okay, draw this entire tree as it is. You forget about this dotted part right now. Okay, you just forget about this dotted part. So the rest of the tree, you draw it as it is. Okay. So you will put null, everything. So this will be null and so on. Okay. So just draw it as it is. How it is in this diagram, you draw it as it is. Draw it with a pencil because you have to make changes. Okay. Then once you have done that, you have to follow this. Once you have done the traversal, okay, you need to replace the null pointers now. When you are replacing the null pointer, you start with replacing first all the left null pointers. So all the left null pointers are, you first identify which are the left null pointers. These are your left null pointers. And we have said that left null pointers will store the in order predecessor. So you check here, in order predecessor of D. Okay, since it's the first node, it does not have an in order predecessor. So this null will remain as it is. So here you will put null only, since it's not having a predecessor. Clear? Next, check for F. Okay, F. What is the predecessor of F? B. Okay, so what you're going to do? You're going to replace the null that was present here. There was a null that was present here. You're going to replace it with a pointer that points to the node B, to the in order predecessor, which is B. So when you are drawing a pointer now from F to B, you are going to draw a dotted arrow. So when you are drawing from F to B, you are going to draw one dotted arrow. Okay, like it is shown here. So this means that F is pointing to in order predecessor. So in order predecessor of F is B. And this dotted arrow is nothing but a thread. Okay. Similarly, you go to the next one. So G is having a left null pointer. Okay. G is having a left null pointer. So check the in order predecessor of G. In order predecessor of G is E. So you are going to draw a dotted arrow from the left portion of G to the node E, like it is shown here. So you can see here, from the left portion of G, don't look at this, left portion of G to E. Okay. Then you check C is having a left null pointer. In order predecessor of C is A. So you draw a dotted arrow from C to A. So from the left portion of C to the node A. So you can see here we have drawn. Okay. Ignore this part. Ignore this part. So for the left null pointers, we have done all the work. We have replaced all the left null pointers that we could replace. Now we want a fully inthreaded binary tree. So in fully inthreaded binary tree, like I showed you in the previous slide, both the left and the right null pointers are replaced. So for the right side now, these are your right side. Okay. Now you have to find out the in order successor of these nodes. So you are having a right side at D, at F, at G, and at C. Only the null pointers. Okay. Do not look at the pointer at the right side of B, right side of E, right side of A. Why? Because this is not null. It is not null. You are only replacing null pointers. So null pointers are only present at D, F, G, and C. So right null pointers are only present at these 4 nodes. So right null pointers, you have to find out the in order successor of those nodes. Okay. So when you find out the in order successor of D will be, in order successor of D is B. So you will draw a dotted arrow from the right portion of D, that is the right portion where the node is pointing to the right child. From there you will draw a dotted arrow to the node B. So you get like this. Similarly, next node is F. F's in order successor is E. So from E, F to E, a dotted arrow, okay, from the right side. Similarly, G, the right side, so in order successor of G is A. They're going to draw from G to A. C is not having a in order successor, okay, so you will keep that null only. And this is what you get as a in order of fully in-threaded binary tree. So wherein you have replaced the left side and the right side of the null pointers. You have replaced it with the in order predecessor and in order successor. Okay, is it clear? Now I'll come to the chat. If anyone is having any doubt till now, then you can tell me before I proceed. Did you all get it, students? Did you understand how the threaded binary tree has to be drawn? Just give me a feedback, yes or no. Excellent. Okay, so I'll continue. So this is how you are drawing a fully in-threaded binary tree. Okay. Now if you want a left in-threaded binary tree, okay, that is this one. Then what you're going to do? You're going to take this diagram that you have, link representation of a binary tree, and you are going to only replace the left side of the nodes. Wherever there is null in the left portion of the tree, only you are going to replace that. So you're going to find out the in order predecessor of this nodes, of node D, F, G and C. You're going to find out the in order predecessors and then draw the dotted arrows. So like we have already said, D will not have in order predecessor, so this will remain as it is. F will have, so F will have to B, G will have to E and C will have to A, like you can see here. F will have to B, G will have to E and C will have to A. These null pointer will remain as it is. And the right null pointers remain as they are. You do not touch them. Okay. So this is only for left in-threaded binary tree. Similarly, if you want right in-threaded binary tree, then you will replace the right null pointers with the in order successor. Right null pointers with the in order successor. So for D, in order successor is B, for F it is E, and for G the in order successor is A. Make sure you are drawing dotted arrows. Threads are drawn with dotted arrows because the solid arrows represent the child nodes. So if this is drawn, this means that D is the left child of B. Whereas if you draw a dotted arrow like it is shown here, okay, that means B is the in order successor of D. This is a thread when you are drawing dotted arrows. You have to make sure you are drawing dotted arrows for threads. Also see how these arrows are starting and ending. Okay, they start from inside the node and they go like this. Like I've told you previously, when you're drawing in your exams, please do not draw like this. I get like this type diagrams. Make sure that this arrow starts from inside here. See in these diagrams, all these diagrams, it starts from inside. Threads also start from inside here, inside this box, this node. It does not start from the edge like this. It doesn't start from the edge. Okay. So please make sure that you draw properly when you're drawing for your exams. Okay. I think you all have understood how to draw this all types of trees. Okay. Fully in-threaded, left and right in-threaded. So these are the types of threaded binary trees. So this is the way you would represent a thread, this concept of threaded binary tree in your program. So you would have used these two variables for representing the left-sided thread or the right-sided thread. Okay. So if that is true, if suppose L thread is true, that means left pointer is a thread to the in-order predecessor. Okay. Otherwise, that means if L thread is false, it contains address of the left child. So if this is true, it will contain thread. If it is false, then this contains the address of left child. Similarly for the R thread. Okay. This is if you are implementing a program. So this will be the structure of a node. Next we'll see how to insert into a threaded binary tree. So suppose you are having a tree like this. Okay, you are given a tree like this and you are told to insert a node into a threaded binary tree. Okay. Now before I go on with this insertion, let me tell you that a threaded binary tree is a binary tree. Okay, is a binary tree. So since it's a binary tree, it could be any type of binary tree. It could be a binary search tree, or it could not be a binary search tree also. It could be just a binary tree. Remember that every binary tree is not a binary search tree. Okay, but every binary search tree is a binary tree. This is true. Every binary search tree is a binary tree, but every binary tree need not be a binary search tree. So that is also true for a threaded binary tree. A threaded binary tree is a binary tree. Therefore, it could also be a binary search tree, but it need not be always a binary search tree. That is what I am trying to tell you. So in the first case, suppose you are inserting in an empty tree. So we are seeing this while we are constructing a binary search tree also. So if you are inserting the first element, then that element will become the root node. Okay. So this will become your root node. So in linked list representation, this would have been like this, a root node. This would be null and this would be null. Okay. So that is your case 1 when you are inserting in a empty tree. Case 2. Suppose you are inserting the new node as the left child. So suppose you are having a tree already. You are already having a tree with you. Okay. And then you are inserting 13. Now they are inserting 13 here as the left child of 14. Okay. They are directly inserting 13 as the left child of a parent node. So I'm directly taking an example from your textbook. Okay. So basically what we are seeing now, inserting a new node as the left child. We are going to see for the case when we insert a new node as a left child. Okay. So what you do is, wherever you find a proper place, you find a proper place for the new node and insert it. It could be anywhere. Okay. So once you have put it in its proper place, the new node. Okay. So the proper place for this new node now here, they have inserted 13 here. Okay. As the left child of 14. As you can see here, this is a solid arrow. So they have inserted 13 as the left child of 14. So once you have inserted this node here, you do the in order traversal. Okay. Please make sure you do the in order traversal. Once you do the in order traversal, you'll get one sequence like this. Once you have got the sequence, you see for this new node 13, who is the predecessor? Predecessor is 10. Okay. So the left pointer of 13, the left null pointer of 13 will point to the node 10. Like you can see here, a dotted arrow is drawn. from 13 all the way to 10. Okay. Similarly, for the new node, you see the in order successor. So the successor is 14. So 14, you are going to draw from the right side of 13, the right pointer of 13, that is here. You draw a dotted arrow to 14, which is the in order successor. Okay. And this is the way you are going to insert a new node. Okay. We were inserting 13 as the left child of a parent. This is the way you are going to insert a node. The rest of the pointers you will keep as it is. So all these pointers that were there from the other nodes, you can keep as it is. Okay. Or you can check this traversal. You can check this traversal. And then how we have discussed in this previous example here, you can do that. Replace the left pointers with in order predecessor, right pointers with in order successor. Okay. But nothing, no other changes will happen actually, because we are only adding one node here. Since we are adding one node here, only this pointer will get changed. This pointer will get changed. Since we are adding 13 as the left child of 14, you get one solid pointer from 14 to 13. Okay. And then you replace the left portion of 13 with in order predecessor and right side of 13 with in order successor, and that you find out from the in order traversal. Only you need to change actually 3 pointers, and the rest of these pointers will remain the same, so you can just draw them as they were. Okay. Otherwise you have to do it like I already explained you in the previous. Similarly, if you are inserting a new node as the right child, so just imagine that we are inserting a new node. Say we are inserting value as 15. In the textbook they want to insert 15 as the right child of 14. They want to insert 15 as the right child of 14. So that means what they will do? They will first of all delete this pointer. Okay. So since it's the right child, now you will draw a solid pointer from here to here, from 14 to 15. Okay. Draw a solid pointer from 14 to 15. Then you find out the in order traversal. Okay. Once you find out the in order traversal, the predecessor of 15 is 14. So you will draw a null threaded pointer from the left side to the in order predecessor. Similarly, the successor of 15 is 16. So from the right side, you will draw a dotted arrow to 16, like it is shown here. Okay, and that's it. Remaining pointers you have to draw them as it is. This is the way you will insert. Okay. Now, one question that you all may having arise in your mind is how you decide the place for insert 13, how you decided that it will be the left child, or how you decided that 15 will be the right child. But that is when you are doing the program, you will be asking the user, right, where you want to insert this node. So whenever you are implementing the program, you ask the user, right, where you are implementing the node. So that is the way you will know where to insert the node as the left child or the right child, and of who will be the parent of that node. Okay, so that is the way you are going to insert. Or if you are doing a binary search tree, suppose this was a binary search tree, we have already learned how to make it as how to construct a binary search tree. Okay, so if you look closely at this example that has been given, actually this is a binary search tree. So they have implemented 13 as a left child of 14, because when you're constructing a binary search tree, 13 would have come in this place. Similarly, on the next slide, 15 would have come on the right side, because this is a binary search tree. Okay. So you have to read your question carefully and decide how you are going to insert and where you are going to insert. Okay. So normally if they give you a question to explain with the help of an example insertion in a threaded binary tree, I would suggest you to take an example of a binary search tree, how it has been taken here. Take your own values, construct a binary search tree, and then insert one node and show how the threads are getting changed. Okay. So any doubts here about the insertion, you can ask me in the chat. I'll come to the chat and check. Insertion of threaded binary tree. Getting it? Aman, Aniket, Arya, Ashish, Athena, Chintan, Cheryl, Dipanjali, Dhruvi, getting? I'm just reading out the names that I can see. Macwill, Malikesh, Mohandas, Nikhil. Okay. 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 So this is the way you have to do it. So then this is basically what is about insertion. We don't have to do anything much. If you are given to construct, all you have to make sure that first of all you have to know how to make a threaded binary tree. If you know this slide properly, what I explained on this slide, all this remaining is quite simple. Okay, and you have to know the next thing is how to do in order traversal. If you know what is in order traversal, then this thing is easy. Then you have to know what is the predecessor and what is the successor of a given node. And once you know that, it's just a question of putting the right kind of pointers. Don't make a mistake and be overconfident and put a solid arrow here like this. Okay, someone can do it, then it is wrong. You cannot put solid arrows for threads. Make sure your threads are represented by dotted arrows. Okay, so till here this was insertion. Then going over deletion. So deletion again is similar to the cases of your binary search tree. Okay, so now if you look at this, delete 14. When you're deleting 14, suppose you are deleting, the first case is leaf node is to be deleted. Like we know in your binary search tree, when you're deleting a leaf node, okay, so you directly delete this part. You delete this part. Okay, delete this part. Just like your binary search tree. Since it's a leaf node, we know from how we are deletions similarly like a binary search tree. Okay, so directly delete this part. Okay, once you have deleted, so since you are deleting 14, this part is gone. Okay, so once you get the in order traversal, after deleting 14, okay, now you needed arrow. 16 was the left child of 16, but now since 14 has got deleted, this solid arrow will not remain now. Okay, left child of 16 is deleted, so the solid arrow will not remain. Here it will become null. But since we are doing threaded binary trees, we know you cannot put null there. So since this is the left side, 14 was the left side of 16, you need to find out the in order predecessor of 16 after deletion of 14. The in order predecessor of 16 is 10. So you are going to draw a dotted arrow from left side of 16 to 10 like it is shown here. So you delete 14. Okay, then this portion is empty, so you cannot put null there. So you find out, since it's the left portion, find out the in order predecessor, that is 10. So then you put a dotted arrow from the left side of 16 to 10, and that's it. Remaining arrows remain the same, they do not change. So all these arrows that are there, these all arrows, they remain the same. Just copy them from here to here. And you have to make this change here. Left side of 16, put a dotted arrow to 10. Okay. So this is for case A. Similar, like I am repeating, it is similar to binary search tree. So instead of making the pointer null, in binary search tree would have made the pointer as null after deletion. But here we make it a thread. So similarly is the case for if you are deleting on the right side, you are deleting a leaf node on the right side. So suppose you are deleting 17. What we will do is, suppose you are deleting, as you can see, this is now a solid pointer because 17 is the right child. So once this is deleted, this thing is deleted, these all pointers will not remain. Okay, all these pointers will be gone. You do the in order traversal. Since now this has become null, you cannot keep it null. So what you do, find out, since it's the right side, find out the in order successor. In order successor of 16 is 20. So you draw from the right side of 16 a dotted arrow to 20. So you can see here, you draw a dotted arrow from 16 to 20. That's it. Remaining arrows you draw as it is. The remaining nodes and the arrows, draw them as it is. So that is your deletion of 17. Okay. Again, as you can see here, if you have revised your concept of binary search tree, you will know that these cases are the same. So again, the second case is node to be deleted is having one child. So suppose now we are looking, now we are deleting a node. Okay. Say we are deleting 16. We are deleting 16. So since we are deleting this, you can see it is having only one child, that is left child with value 14. Therefore, we are applying case P. So when you are applying the case B, the rules for binary search tree and this is same. So this will be replaced with its child. Okay, so deleting this thing, so it will be replaced with its child. So you can see here, 14 will come here. 16 is gone, 14 will come there. Now it's a case of finding out the right kind of pointers. So wherever there is null, you need to replace that with the proper pointers. So this 10 will now point to this 14 since 16 is gone. Okay. And the rest of the things will remain the same except for this pointer thread was pointing to 16. The right thread of 15 will not point to 16. You need to find out who is the in order successor. So now the in order successor of 15 will be 20. So you need to make this change. So once you have done the deletion, you just need to check out after deleting that node, who are the in order predecessor and successor of the nodes that remain. So for most of the nodes, the pointers will remain the same. Only just for one or two nodes, the pointer will change. Okay. So I just come to the chat, and if you have any doubt in this deletion, you can let me know. We are just looking at these properties of deletion in binary search tree. That's why I emphasize from yesterday to revise your concepts. Okay. In case you have not revised and you come today, then you must be finding it difficult. So any difficulties? So here Prabhakar, Badrinath, Prachi, Prajakta, Riya, Reeve, Ruban, Roshni, Rutvi, Saish, Samiksha. Okay, getting it? Difficult? Understanding? Want me to go slow? Shrishti, Siddhi Lakshmi, Tanay, Suraya, Vibhuti, Yash, Sejal, Savi, Hayden, Enid, Jamano. Getting it? I'm fast. You want anything to be explained on any of the slides? Okay. Then let's look at how to do. Okay, now this is your case C. So case C is again similar to your binary search tree. So it will again, once you do the case C means, like we have seen in your binary search tree, again it will be a, it will decompose to either case A or case B. So case C is nothing but, we again will do the case A or case B. So when we find out the node to be deleted, we find out the in order successor, and then we have seen all this process how it happens in the binary search tree. You copy that in order successor into the value of n, and the in order successor is deleted using case A or case B. So case C is nothing but, first you need to find out the in order successor, copy the in order successor instead of n, and then you have to solve it by using case A or case B. Okay, you can just revise this by looking at a binary search tree cases in case you have forgotten. So again, now coming back to the main use of why we were doing this, to make our in order traversal faster. Okay, now when you're solving on your paper, you won't notice this difference. Okay, please note, you may even find it a little bit more difficult. Okay, but when the computer is doing it, it's easier for the computer because the computer is not using recursion and is not using stacks. It is not using both of these, so it finds threaded binary trees to be better for it. Okay, for us, when we are doing it on the paper, it may not make much of a difference. So again, the method remains the same, it does not change. Okay, if you remember, for in order traversal, we traverse the left subtree first, then we visit the root, and we traverse the right subtree. So this was the steps: left, visit, right. So again, for any kind of tree, this traversal will remain the same. In order means left, visit, right. Left subtree, visit, and right subtree. So for threaded also it will remain the same. If suppose this is your threaded binary tree that has been given to you, and you are told to find the in order traversal. Okay, so you will start from the root node. So like I taught you, you will go left, you will go left, you will go left. You cannot go more left, so you will visit the root. When you visit the root, you will put 1 in the output. Okay, then you will go right. When you go right, the difference here is you will be going with this thread. Okay, you will be going with this thread. Once you come here, you will visit. Since you have already done left, you will visit. You will get tree as the output. Since you have visited, you will go right. So you will come along this path. Okay, and so on. So basically, in order traversal you are doing, so you are going to do these steps: L, V, and R. Okay, so I'm not going to trace and show you this entire thing. It is works in the same way. Okay, but when you're going right, if there is a thread, it will use that thread and go to the in order successor. Okay, it will go to the in order successor. Well, like we have discussed, the right pointer will contain a pointer to the in order successor. Either it contains a pointer to the in order successor or it contains a pointer to the right child. So wherever there is a thread, it will go to in order successor, otherwise it will go to the right child. Okay. Similarly for the left, it will go to the in order predecessor or to the left child. So I'll just show you here. So first we went to 1, okay, then we used the right side, the in order successor of 1 is 3. I visited 3, okay, then I go again right and I will visit this. Do you all want me to trace you and show you this? Just let me know in the chat. Do you want me to trace it and show you using that LBR? Just let me know in the chat, students. Do you all want to try tracing this? Can you all try tracing this before I show you the output? It will be a practice for you. Can you find the in order traversal of this? I'll give you 5 minutes. You can just take your notebooks and find out the in order traversal. And then type the answer in the chat. Yeah, there's a shortcut method, but don't use that shortcut method. Please use that LVR. Yeah. So I hope you have not used the shortcut method. So yeah, so this is the answer you will be getting. I'll just go to this slide quickly. Like I have already got the output. This is the way your tree will be traversing. It's getting highlighted with the colors to just understand what is the path that will be going on. Okay, and this is your in order traversal. So basically, according to the concept, this is what will be making your in order traversal more efficient. Okay, because we are making use of the null, the place that we were wasting. We had a node structure for a tree wherein we had the left side, the right side, and the data part. If this was a leaf node, we were just putting null and null here, and we are wasting this place. Okay, we are occupying memory with useless information. So they decided to make the traversals a bit more efficient by including the in order successor or in order predecessor information here. So when you do that, the in order traversal becomes better because it avoids the use of stacks and recursion. Please remember this. They may ask you what are the advantages of threaded binary tree, and you need to write this. It's an important question that could be asked for your exams. So if you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat. Otherwise, we are done with the first topic for unit 3.